Hey guys, what's going on? Shah here, and today you fell for the clickbait. Venthyr Druid sucks in 9.2, but I'm going to go over some of the details that I have found doing a little bit of testing last night with my good friend Deco. In this video, I really just want to highlight some of the testing that I did in a Sanguine Depths run. And when I say run, I definitely, it's literally just me and one other person just fucking mass pulling everything and just seeing how long we can live and seeing how much damage I can do. So in this video, I'm going to be playing with a Night Fae Paladin, giving me Blessing of Summer and obviously the other blessings as well. I want to quickly break down my talent build, my stat distributions, as well as the general idea. Unfortunately, I think Venthyr is not going to be good in 9.2. Actually, worse than it is currently. I think the Venthyr Druid nerf that was targeted more at balanced Druids definitely is going to affect how Guardian Druids are going to be played. Not necessarily how they're going to be played, but they could have had so much more potential going into this patch, and unfortunately they don't, which makes me a little sad. I will probably be swapping to Kyrian on live servers as soon as 9.2 goes live, and I'll probably do a video about that in the next week or so. I'll be doing some live keys actually tonight as of the recording of this video to try to mess around with that, seeing which classes are going to benefit from Kindred Affinity in the key situation, at least the things that I'm going to be running with. And I have some other tips for like Kyrian Druids as well. But in this video, it's all about the Venthyr Guardian Druid. So let's take a look quickly at the idea behind this video. So the talents that I was running, so the talents that was running here was, the main thing was Survival of the Fittest. This has a decent synergy with the tier set. Having CDR on Barkskin by 33%, on top of also having the Conduit that's reducing the Barkskin cooldown, is really, really strong. It's knocked Barkskin down to a 32-second cooldown, and that's not even at max Conduits. I think it goes up to 278. Currently, I am running I think a 265 that's empowered. So it should go up a little bit more. I'm hoping to get it down to a 30-second CD. That would be insane. But for now, 32 seconds is still really, really strong. Because the tier set is giving us Incarnation, our Ursax of the Fury healing is actually going up a bit because we're able to get out more Thrashes in that window. And on top of that, we're able to get pretty decent CDR on Frenzied Regen. And because of that interaction, I think Earth Warden's going to lose a little value. I don't know if it's going to be meta. Earth Warden is really strong for just like basic mitigation that's passive. And the other thing that I swapped up was actually Brambles. So Blood Frenzy, while you're an Incarn with like 50 targets attacking you, with like haste, with Ravenous Frenzy buff, you know, all the good stuff, Blood Frenzy just wasn't doing it for me. It was just overcapping me even more than it should have. So Brambles was the choice for damage. Obviously, it has good synergy with Survival of the Fittest and the tier set. Brambles is just going to give you a little bit more extra like AoE pulsing damage. Nothing insane. Blood Frenzy might be the play in 9.2. It might not be. It depends on your secondary stats. It depends on your Covenant. The whole plan is to do a 9.2 guide in the next couple weeks here, once the date's kind of announced. So I'll get into that stuff later. But for this specific build, which sucks by the way, this is what I was running. Don't look at Wild Charge or Feral Affinity. That was literally for mobility to get from point A to point B. So let's break down what I did in this video, in this clip. This was about over 3 hours. I was constantly testing the same run or different versions of this run to see how we can maximize damage and trying to keep the Paladin alive. All right, so I will apologize in advance for this video. The quality is gonna shit the bed when I get everything grouped up. Something happened with my recording software, and I think some of the settings reset. So unfortunately, it didn't do the best job. I'm gonna try to pause the video and talk about it on points where it's not super blurry and pixelated, but I'm just gonna have to fix it. So sorry about that in advance. So this idea is, I did a lot of testing with the first whole hallway pull, trying to max out my DPS, and I was only able to hit like 120k. So we're trying to figure out ways to make that even bigger. So in this video, I hit 187k DPS on this pull. It was kind of insane. There's a lot of things that went into it. When it came to buffs, just standard stuff, you know, weapon oil, flask, Vantis rune, food. I think Mastery Food would have been a little bit better here because my verse cap was already at 30, which means it's DRing. And Mastery, actually, because it's scaling with it scales up your attack power, or it adds attack power based on your Mastery percentage. The Mastery is actually what's affecting your tier set bonus. So the more Mastery you have, the more damage it's going to do. So the idea for this is I'm going to go in, pull basically where I am now, which is the first room where you start seeing the Gluttonous Ticks. I'm going to pull this all the way to the first boss, stack it up, and just go ham. So going to have Incarn, Ravenous Frenzy, Battle Potion. I'm going to have drums, unfortunately, no actual lust. So the potential for this could be a little bit higher. I'm going to get a Blessing of Summer from the Night Fae Paladin. For those who don't know, Blessing of Summer is really, really cool. So with the Conduit and the Legendary, essentially, it's a 45-second buff. Obviously, this will fluctuate a little bit. It depends on your Conduit, actually. So it's a 45-second buff where there's a 40% chance that your damage will be replicated at a 30% value as holy damage. It's going to contribute towards my damage, but you can actually contribute it to technically the paladin's damage, because it's objectively their buff that they're giving you. So you can directly translate it, compared to like running Kindred Affinity, where it's kind of hard to tell like what you're doing for people. Or for example, like Night Fae priests, when they give someone like the fairy buff, the malevolent fairy or whatever it's called, with CDR, it's kind of hard to tell and grasp those ideas, but for this it's directly noticeable how much damage they're doing. So the damage that the Night Fae Paladin actually, or technically, did at the end of this pull is going to be insane. So that's the idea. So I'm going to get to the end, pop all my stuff, and then I'm going to get that buff, the Blessing of Summer, and we're just going to start ripping. I'm going to slow this down, I don't know, to about 60% speed, and we're going to just kind of walk through it. So I'm grabbing each tick. Now the thing here is running by yourself from this point in a 15 when you're, you know, in, I guess, like heroic item level. Surviving this is actually pretty scary, so I'm going to start with a Scale. Scale is still going to be one of the best trinkets probably going into 9.2. It's another trinket you're going to have to just farm out, hope that you get it early from your vault, and get at that max item level as soon as possible. We're just grabbing everything. I could just tag the boss here because he does call for help if there's ads still up, which will pull everything anyways. I'm moving into this corner. I pop Survival Instincts. I'm just trying to survive right now. This is the reason I'm doing this, is because they can't cast the Engorge on me or whatever it's called while I'm LOS. So this is where the video quality kind of shits the bed because of the movement and the animations. So I have Incarn popped. I call for Blessing of Summer. Lust is popped, Potions popped. I pop IQD in a second here. And what I'm doing is I'm just literally hitting Thrash over and over and over and over again. So I'm at about 100k DPS right now. Ravenous Frenzy stacking. The boss charges my Paladin. He's way off in the corner, as you can see there. 130k, 140k, 150k. 160k is about to pop off here. 170k, 180k. And then I think I peak for one global at 187k. Which is nutty right there. So this is really cool because one, you're unkillable, as you can see. And obviously the damage component of this is actually insane. I'm sure you've seen a lot of things on Twitter, and I got knocked off here actually, which is what killed me. You've probably seen clips of Venthyr Guardian Druids and stuff, or Guardian Druids doing this much damage in keys with just massive pulls. It's doable. Venthyr allows for that, especially because you're getting you're getting 6 extra seconds of Ravenous Frenzy on average, based on how many thrashes you're able to get off. So obviously different things like PI, Lust, and different, you know, external buffs are going to allow for this. Is this practical though? No, this is not going to be that viable. I think Guardian Druid can swap to Venthyr if your group doesn't have a Venthyr in certain keys, right? Like let's just say you're going to do a Sanguine. You could probably swap to Venthyr and get away with it. Until a certain point. Obviously there might be a better class that can, you know, go and do the Lanterns or get the Stoneborns and Halls of Atonement. But I do think the meta is going to heavily shift in favor of Kyrian. Night Fae is still going to be playable, I think. I don't think it'll be insane because, I mean, I'll do a whole video on what's going to be powerful later. I don't want to get into too much of a rant or a tangent here. And I'm really excited to start doing more testing with this. So I do want to quickly break down the Paladin's damage on this pull, because as you can see, he kind of hung out in the back. I think he maybe threw like a Judgment or two. That's why he did 100 damage. The idea here was just for him to stay alive, because if he dies with Blessing of Summer, the buff stays, but the damage doesn't actually radiate, or it doesn't happen. So there was a pull that we did this, and he died immediately, because I think like all the ticks targeted him and just fucking sucked him off, and he died immediately. But he got Blessing of Summer off, but it did no damage. Like it did like 100k damage, which is nothing. Let's quickly look. All right, so this is what the damage breakdown looked like for that pull. Blessing of Summer did 1.3 million damage. It did more than my tier set, or just about the same as my tier set. If I quickly pull up a calculator, which I think I have on my computer. Let's see if I know how to use it though. All right, so we have our calculator here, right? Oops, I don't want to full screen that. Fuck. Ah, fuck. What the fuck? Hold on. Ah! So we have 1.3 mil, right? Blessing of Summer lasts for 45 seconds. So over the course of this buff, which by the way is longer, it's a little bit, it'll be like technically just as long as Ashen. It did 28.8k DPS during its duration. That's insane. So my theory behind this is obviously a side tangent and not relating to Guardian Druid at all, but I think giving this to like something that hits faster and harder, like a Necrolord Frost Mage, could be extremely valuable. So the idea of this is you want to give it to something that hits fast, hits hard, and can hit for a very long period of time. So a Frost Mage being able to get resets on Icy Veins, resets on Frozen Orb using Blizzard, can actually, I think, do more damage with Blessing of Summer. There's other things like Destrolock that I think can do something similar. Enhancement Shaman maybe, but Guardian Druid is obviously really strong for this. So that's just so insane to me. A 28.8k passive buff that he gives to a Guardian Druid. That's insane. So Nightfade Paladin could be a sleeper. I don't know if it's going to be meta. I think being able to buff your friends though in your group in this next patch is going to allow for some really nutty stuff. So I'm pretty excited to try out the Kindred Affinity stuff and kind of give you guys feedback on that. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the Venthyr build, let me know. I've been maining Venthyr Guardian Druid since day 1 of this expansion, so I've been pretty comfortable with it. I think I know a fair bit of how the interactions work. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you'd like to see anything specific on PTR, and I'll test it out for you. Hope you guys are staying happy, healthy, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take care.